Today we're going to get started with the original 34 exercises from Return to Life with Joseph Pilates. We're going to lay supine on the mat to get started with the 100. Reaching those legs out nice and long, hands down to your sides. We're going to lift up into our chest, lift as we take those feet to a 2-inch hover off the mat, and we're going to pump our arms that are side deep. Inhale, and full exhale. Inhale, and exhale. We're just going to do 2 more. On this last one, let's lower everything down to the mat, reaching those hands overhead. We're going to go into our roll up, reaching those hands to the ceiling, rolling all the way up to seated, and then rolling back until our head finds the mat. Rounding our spine up to seated, and then round that spine back until you come back down to the mat. Let's do 2 more. After this last one, we're going to stay down onto the mat, taking our hands to our sides for that rollover. So pressing the mat, reach those legs up to the sky, open the legs to the shoulder width, and then peel it back down. Legs can come back together, rolling up and over, flex the feet, peeling that spine back down, and let's reverse. Keep the legs open, rolling up and over, legs together, point the toes, coming back down, legs open wide, shoulder width, up and over, legs together, and then peeling all the way back down. Reaching one leg down to the mat, keeping that opposite leg up to the sky. Let's go into our 1-leg circle. Looking towards that toe. Let's do 2 more. And then reverse, opposite way. 2 more. We'll take that leg back down to the mat, reach the opposite leg up to the sky, and back into that circle. Inhale. Deep exhale. And 2 more. After that last one, let's reverse, going the opposite way. Think about pressing your body down to the mat. 2 more. On this last one, let's bring both knees up to tabletop. Grab onto those shins. Let's rock ourselves up to seated for our rolling back. And let's roll back to our shoulder blades. And then back up. Roll to the shoulder blades. Press those legs into the hands to help activate the back of those thighs. Bringing you back up, let's do 2 more. On that last one, we're gonna stay down into our chest lift. We're gonna pull one leg into our chest as that opposite leg reaches to straight. Pulse it for 2 and switch. Pulse, pulse, and switch. Maybe exhale, exhale, inhale, switch. 1 more time each side. Let's bring both of those legs back together for that double leg stretch. Reach everything out long, and then pull it back in. Reach the arms and legs out, and back in. 2 more. After this last one, bring everything back in. Rock yourself to seated. Straighten those legs out in front of you for our spine stretch forward. Hands shoulder height. Let's round our spine forward, and then come back to upright. Peel away from the wall, and back against the wall. Let's do 2 more. And then after this last one, as we come back to upright, let's bend our knees to scoot our butt forward so you have space behind you. And then we're going to reach both legs to straight, grabbing onto those ankles. Find that length in the body. And then we're going to slowly roll our spine back. And then come back to upright. Press those legs into the hands. Hands pull into the legs to help assist. Let's do 1 more. On this last one, let's stay down on the mat. Reach those legs up overhead. Press your hands into the mat for that corkscrew. Rolling straight down one side. Coming back up and over. And then rolling down the other side of your spine. Come back up to that left side. Switch over to that right side and back down. Let's do that 2 more times. Up and over. And back down. And 1 more. Let's roll ourselves up to seated. Straighten those legs out in front of you. Open those legs to as wide as you can. Arms out to a T for saw. Twist and rotate. Pulse for 2. Back to center. Other side, looking towards that back pinky finger as you fold forward. 1 more time to each side. And then once we're even, we'll come back to upright. Let's cross those legs, and we're going to come up onto our knees and then lay onto our bellies. And as we lay our belly, starting with those hands below the shoulders, let's lift up into our swan, and then back down. Lift up into swan, And let's go into our swan dive. We're gonna lower down, let those arms reach out, and then catch as we lift. Lower down, reach out, and back up. 2 more. After this last one, you can lower yourself down to those forearms, elbows below the shoulders. Lift one leg, bring the heel to the butt, reach it out, other side. Heel to the butt, reach out and lower. One more time each side. Once you're even, we're gonna lower our head down, chin to the mat, elbows down to the floor for our double leg kick. Bring both legs in, pulse to the butt. As those legs reach out, reach the hands towards the heels, and then lower down to the other side. Pulse, pulse, lift, and reach up into that extension. And let's do that one more time to each side. And then once we're even, I'm gonna take my hands down to the mat, pressing myself up to seated, taking those legs out in front of me. For our neck pull, taking those hands behind the head, we're gonna round back to that mat. And then bringing that forehead towards our thighs as we round forward. Coming back up, round back, and then round back up. Neck pull, let's do 2 more. After this last one, we're gonna stay down to the mat. And then once we come down, let's bend those knees, take those feet into your sides. We're gonna lift our hips up to the sky, bringing those legs up into our tabletop. And let's go to our big scissors. And then we'll transition to our bicycle. Let's reverse, other way. One more time each direction. And then we're gonna reach those legs to the ceiling, bend the knees, and then land those feet to the mat. And then with those hips lifted, take one leg up to the sky, lower and lift. 2 more. And then we'll take that foot back down to the mat, reaching the other side up, and lower and lift. 2 more. After this last one, take that foot back to the mat, lower those hips down. Let's roll ourselves up to seated to go into our spine twist. Taking those arms up to our side, twist, rotate, center, other side, center. Looking towards that back hand as we twist. Let's do that one more time, each side. Once we're even, we're gonna come back to center. We're gonna peel our spine back down to the mat. Pressing those hands down to the mat, reach those legs up to the sky for jackknife. Press and reach up, and then articulate back down. Lower those legs, lift, press on the mat to help you lift those legs to the sky. And as slow as you can, peel back down. Let's do one more. Reaching those legs up and over, pressing the mat, peeling down as slow as you can. Once those legs come back down, let's flip over to one side for our kneeling side kick. Hands behind the head, take that top leg, let's lift it up, kick it forward, sweep it back. Pressing down to the mat with that bottom leg. Let's do 2 more. On that last one, we're gonna lower that leg down. To get to the other side, we're gonna roll onto our backs. Take those hands up to the sky, and let's teaser ourselves to upright. And then back down. Chin to chest, round up, rest those hips on the mat to come up. Let's do 2 more. After this last one, let's stay up in that teaser. And we're gonna bring those legs back down, swivel around. We're gonna lay down to the other side. Hands behind the head, reach those legs out long. And let's sweep that leg forward, and then sweep it back. Sweep it forward, sweep it back. Let's do 2 more. And then after that last one, we're gonna bring that leg back in, lower that leg down, rolling back to our back, reach those hands up to the sky. And let's roll up and find that teaser. Take those hands back behind you to your sides, widen your sides, and then hip twist. Drop those legs left to right, side to side. One more time each side. We'll come back to center. We're gonna lower all the way back down to the mat. We're gonna flip over onto our bellies. Reaching those arms out nice and long. All 4 limbs to a hover. Let's go for a swim. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Feel that reach in your limbs. One more time each side. Lower everything back down. Bring those hands underneath your shoulders, press into your toes, and let's lift up into our plank. Reach one leg up, point flex, back down, other side, point flex. One more time, each side. And we're gonna flip over into our leg pull back. Hands behind you. Let's lift those hips to the sky. Lift one leg up, pulse down, other leg, pulse back down. One more time, each side. You can lower those hips down. We're gonna come up onto our knees for our kneeling side kick. We're gonna take one hand down to the mat, taking this hand behind our head, lift that leg up. Let's kick it forward and back. Let's do 2 more. And then we're gonna bring that leg back in. We're gonna lower everything back down for our side bend. Reaching your hand to your foot. Let's lift up into our side bend. Come back down and then lower back down. Let's do 2 more. Lifting up, sweeping that hand overhead to the ceiling and back down. 1 more. Lower those hips back down. We're gonna come back up onto our knees. Hand behind the head, take that leg out, sweep it forward, sweep it back. Let's do 2 more. On that last one, let's lower that leg to the mat, lower our hips down, bend that top knee to the sky, reach those legs out a little bit, and let's lift up into our side bend. Coming up and over, rainbow arch, and then back down. Let's do 2 more. And 1. As we come back down, we're gonna bring those legs out in front of us, preparing for our boomerang, making sure you have space behind you. Cross those ankles, hands to your sides. We're gonna roll back to our rollover, switch the cross of your ankles, roll back to upright, find your teaser balance, reach those hands behind your back, lift those arms up high, and then slowly fold yourself forward, reaching forward towards those toes. Coming back to upright, hands to your side, roll over, switch the cross of the ankles, coming up to our teaser balance, reach those hands behind you, lift those hands up, and then slowly fold forward. Let's do that 1 more time. Hands to your sides, roll up and over, switch the cross of the ankles, come up, find that teaser balance, reach those hands behind you, lift those arms up, gently fold forward, and then reach down toward your toes. From here, we're gonna bend those knees, taking our hands inside the thighs and then grabbing onto the outside of the ankle for our seal. We're gonna clap those heels together 3 times, roll to our shoulder blades, clap 3 times. Back to upright, clap 3 times, and then overhead, clap 3 times. Let's do that 2 more times. Pressing those arms into your legs, legs into those arms, 1 more. As we come back up, we're gonna cross our ankles, grab onto our toes. From here, I'm gonna round forward onto my knees, bringing my head to the mat, rounding my spine. I'm gonna land back onto my butt, roll to my shoulder blades to switch the cross of my ankles, come back up, land on my knees, roll forward towards my head for that crab. Let's do that 1 more time. Rolling back to our shoulder blades, switch the cross of the ankles, come back up, roll onto those knees, head to the mat, and then we'll slowly come back onto our butt. From here, we're gonna lay all the way down to the mat. We're gonna flip over onto our bellies, and we're gonna reach back and grab onto those ankles. Press the ankles into the hands as the hands pull the ankles to lift, and then lower back down. So feel that press and that pull, and then back down. 2 more. On this last one, see if you can stay lifted, and let's try to rock. Feel that press and pull of the legs and the hands to help you rock. 1 more. And then we'll lay all the way back to flat. We're gonna flip back over onto our backs, straightening those legs. And then we're gonna take those hands and reach them overhead. Lift up into your rollover. Press 1 foot to the mat as you grab a hold of it, reach the other leg to the sky, and then switch. Pull down, And switch. Pull down, reaching that opposite leg to the sky one more time, each side. And then you could take those legs back up to the ceiling, bring your hands back down to your side. Take your time as you peel that spine back down, rolling up in that teaser. Switch across the ankles, coming into our quadruped. Let's find that plank. Maybe a push up here. Press back up, walk your hands toward your toes, coming all the way back to standing. Let's repeat that 2 more times. Walking down, finding that plank, going into our push up. Press back up, walk those hands up, back to upright, and 1 more time. And as you come back to upright, just release those shoulders back and down. And thank you guys for joining me for the original 34 exercises from Return to Life Through Contrology with Joseph Pilates. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that bell to be notified of future videos, and I'll see you guys back here in the Pilates studio soon.